have to internalize all these things in my life. So this new aspect of learning becomes a re-socialization for me. Okay. So three types of socialization: primary, then we have anticipatory, and what is called re-socialization. Next, we come across and agencies of socialization. Who actually makes us learn all these things? Who is much concerned? Who is bothered to make us, who has the concern or the responsibility towards the children or towards the child to make us learn, internalize all these things? This is actually the first agency becomes the mother. That is again the family. I repeat once again, the first agent of socialization is mother. Then next comes the family. All the family members every time up to the age of 3 years until the child enters into the school. Fine. So the child is in among the family members. The child will be learning the sitting patch, the sitting posture, the eating habits, okay, the eating pattern or the behavior, the movement, every movement of the child will be observed by the family members, and the child will be cautioned not to touch this, do this, not to do this. All these basic level of socialization will be done by the family members. Okay. So the first agent is mother, and then the family. Okay. Then we have what is called the school. So where does he enters after the 3rd year? Definitely directly it is to the school, right? So the school becomes the second agent of the socialization, where through the teacher, through the teachers, and also the children, the peer group members. Usually he is almost the very long time he spends in the school, that is from since morning 9 or 8 or in the evening 5 or 4. The whole time he is spending his life in the school. So almost all the socialization process, the second stage where he enters into among the peer group, being with the peer group, playing with the peer members, and also interacting with the teachers. The child will be learning many things in the school. Okay. Then again, we have the peer group. As I said, everywhere, not only the school, peer group members also at the family and in their house itself. Probably maybe you find the peer group members. So the child will be interacting with the peer group. The child will be playing with the peer group. So through the play also, or through interacting with through what is called fighting with the peer members also, the child will be learning many things. Fine. So this also is one of the very effective agent of socialization process. Then we have the mass media. The bigger level, we have the mass media, where maybe reading the newspapers, maybe hearing the discussions, or hearing watching the TVs maybe, or something else, whatever, all these actually plays a very important, efficient type of socialization process. Fine. Then we have certain theories of socialization. Okay. What is the theories actually talk about? The theory says that we have 3 different theories. Like we have C.H. Coule's theory, we have Mead's theory, and also Freud's theory. Okay. So we come across C.H. Coule's theory, which is very important and very famous theory we call looking glass self. Looking glass self, that is looking into a mirror. Looking into a mirror gives what happens when you look into the mirror. You will be, you're just experiencing your own image. You will be just observing your own mirror, your own image. So what happens when you observe yourself in the mirror? So what happens if you try to correct yourself, right? If I'm not properly dressed up, if I'm not properly combed my hair, or if I'm not properly looking here. So what I do is I try to correct myself. I just want to look very beautiful, or I just want to look at least average towards average person, isn't it? So this actually why he's comparing to the looking glass self. Actually, what does he want to talk about socialization process in the form of looking glass self? Here, actually, we have this theory by C.H. Coule, where he says that imagination of appearance actually takes place. You are imagining your appearance. When I look into the mirror, I will be internally thinking, I will be internally interacting with my mind and with myself, isn't it? So what I feel is whether am I looking good? Am I looking average? Am I looking beautiful? So I am just evaluating my appearance when I look myself into the mirror here. Okay. మనం అద్దం చూస్తాం కదా, అద్దం చూసినప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాము? యూజువల్ గా మనం బాగున్నామా లేదా, మనం బొట్టు సరిగ్గా పెట్టుకున్నామా, డ్రెస్అప్ కరెక్ట్గా అయ్యామా, అందంగా కనిపిస్తున్నామా లేదా అని చూస్తాం. బట్ యాక్చువల్లీ వాట్ C.H. Kule says is, it is something where the person will be evaluating his self, his behavior patterns, his response to the society, or the response of the society towards his own behavior patterns. I just go through 1 or 2 points here, where he says that, the child very quickly learns through the judgment of the others. So he tries to evaluate the judgment of the others here. Okay, so you're not looking good. That means he feels so bad that somebody has said that I'm not looking good. So what I should do now? So I want to expose myself to the same person, where I will be ready, and I try to make up myself, and I try to structure myself, and then what I do is I go before the mirror and I want again the response by the same person, isn't it? So this actually every time it's a very common feeling, where every person wants some kind of good judgment by the other second person. So usually we try to take the judgment because we want to correct ourselves. So it's not just not looking beautiful or something else, but our behavior patterns, whether my behavior is rightful or not, fine, whether I'm going according to the societal pattern or not, all this actually happens with the looking glass self, and you try to correct yourself by looking into the mirror of a society. Here mirror is nothing, really not the mirror, but it is something where we are taking the society as the mirror. Okay, then here he says that the looking glass self provides a mirror in which we can see the movements and reactions of other people towards our own behavior, isn't it? Say you are very bad guy, you're not, I don't think you are really a good person. Itlanti statements vachinappudu what we feel is, somebody is not accepting us, somebody is not accepting our behaviors. Even it can be the family, or it can be our own kin members, or any other person here, but that statement itself hurts a person. So what we do, we want to be with the group members. So what we do is, let us change ourselves. So this changing of ourself, the character, or molding our character, takes place with this judgment or evaluation of self here. Okay, then it says that it is made up of imagination of our appearance. What does the looking glass self says here? It says that it's something imagining your own appearance in the mirror. Okay, so you try to imagine whether I'm going to be acceptable by the people, whether my behavior is acceptable by the people. All this imagination takes place in your own self, with the appearance in the mirror itself. Okay, then looking glass self results in 3 stages. What are the 3 stages we have? In the first stage, the person imagines how he appears to other people. The first stage is the person thinks then how I'm appearing to the person, okay, to the second person. Then in the second stage, he imagines how others evaluate your behavior. Okay, I'm standing before a person, so I will be trying to talk to the second person. So some kind of behavior, the second person is observing me. The second stage, I feel that how the second person is evaluating my behavior. Okay, so second stage. First stage is I am before the person, I am interacting with the person, and secondly, internally, I will be feeling that how the second person is taking my behavior. So I try to judge myself through evaluation of the second person. Then finally, the person evaluates his own actions according to how he perceives others have judged him. I try to think, I try to evaluate myself, how the second person is thinking about me, whether he is thinking about me in a right way, whether the second person has taken me in a rightful way, whether the second person is feeling good about me or bad about me. All this thought process, actually, you are internally taking. This is internally interacting with these kind of things. So this actually, C.H. Kule has said, it is something we call it as minding ourselves. You are minding in your own way. Okay, you are just thinking in your own way. All this imagination, a person's actions takes place in his mind. So where is it taking place? All this interaction is taking place in our mind itself. You are thinking through mind. Fine. You are evaluating through mind. You are judging through mind. Fine. So that judgment you are judging because the second person's response towards your behavior itself is making your judgment. Right. Okay. I hope you followed this point here. Then we have C.H. Mead's theory. Okay. We come across the same socialization process theory. So here C.H. Kule has given in the form of looking glass self, looking glass mirror here. But here GH Mead has given me and I, two parts of the self. Every person consists of two parts. Okay, every person, that is the human person, have two different parts of the self. One is me, one is I. The me is properly trained, internalized with this, it is socialized, fine, internalized, inculcated with all the value systems, internalized with the good, bad, do's, don'ts, everything. So that is, it is properly socialized part of the self. Okay. The other part of the self is I. I is like, it is a kind of selfish kind of self. Okay, a selfish, that is, which is not internalized with all the good, bad values and all. It doesn't know what actually the society expects about us. Okay, but what happens with this? There is always the interaction between this me and I, internally taking place with the self of a person. Okay, I repeat once again. According to Mead, G.H. Mead, socialization process takes place in such a way that every person is possessed with two different parts of the self. One is me, one is I. The I part and me part is in our own self. Okay. Me part is internalized with all the good things, internalized with all the values, the regulations, everything. The me part knows what is expected by the society. The I part is not actually not internalized with all these things here. Okay, it doesn't know what the expectations are, or least bothered. Okay, so I always say, for example, I want to eat this, I want this, I want to dress up like this. This is where you are feeling very selfishly. You are feeling for your own self. But can we expect that with our own selfish aspect, selfish interest level, can we survive in society? This is not acceptable. So what we should do? We should control ourselves. We should be properly socialized. So this me part, what happens is the me part is always interacting, and me part says that no, you please be silent. You should not come up. You should not think overtly, because you are not acceptable in the society. So let us be very silently and go according to the society. So this interaction between me and I always takes place in oneself. So through this interaction, usually we try to subordinate with the I part, and then the me part actually works out in our own self, because when you're socialized, definitely we will go according to the expectations of the society. So this happens in oneself. Okay, then we have what is called this I and me interaction, conversation. Me says that it is something minding. You are minding. We usually say you mind your own business antam kada Telugulo. Mind your own business ante you please be according to the society. Okay, you please behave yourself. Okay, what is that? Behave yourself ante this minding, actually the me says to I. Okay, that is minding takes place here. So it says that no, you behave yourself, please be in rules and regulations, please be in your limits and cheptuntam. If supposingly if I dominates, if me is subordinated, I dominates. Okay, then if I dominates, definitely we experience the disruption in the society. The distraction takes place in the society. So that's the reason why socialization is very, very important. This is sociology. Yeah. Then we have the concept of generalized others. Who are these generalized others? As I said, the child through the anal stage, audipal stage, and the other stages, the child identifies from his fourth year, the child identifies the members, his siblings, his parents, and etc. etc. He identifies his own family members, right? Here, what the generalized others and the particular others? Here, actually, we are identifying two different members here. Particular others are the parents. Fine. The particular others are the parents to the child. Generalized others are the other members in the society and other family members, the kin members to the society. Okay. So what is the importance actually? The first prior importance the child gives is to the particular others. Then the other members, secondary members are the generalized others. What is the role played by the generalized others and the particular others? Usually we come across in socialization process. Through the process of learning, the child will go through anal stage and what is called the audipal stage, where he tries to play certain roles, and also he tries to understand and evaluate and judge, not judging, but understand, evaluate, and identifies the importance of those roles. Actually, when does this happens? So this happens through the process of socialization itself. So where we come across identifying the play and the game stage. What is this play stage? We must be observing many children will be playing the role of a teacher, the parent, fine, or some uncle or the aunt or some other roles, fine. So till the age of 5 years or 4 years, the child will be always in the play stage. But the play stage, the child is playing the role, but the child doesn't understand the importance of the role here. Okay, so the role of the importance of the role and importance of that particular member can be understood only when the child crosses a particular stage called after 5 years. Okay, say for example, here it says that a girl may take a mother's role and pretend that the doll represents herself. Yes, we all observe all these things through among the children. The child will be playing, taking the stick, and as if she portrays that she is the teacher and the other member, the other friends are the students of that particular class. So the child will be just showing that kind of importance of the teacher, that she says that as I'm giving you the homework, please do. So all this is nothing but the play stage among the children. So this is very important. Why? Because the child will be identifying to that particular role. The child has the in mind that yes, these are the role performances among the family members of the school and all, but the child cannot identify with the importance of those roles. The importance can be judged, the importance can be understood by the child only after the 5 years age of the child. Okay, so we call this as when the child identify and understand the importance of the role is only the game stage. Okay. So the play stage and the game stage. Game stage, they try to identify the importance of the roles, importance of mother, importance of father, importance of the other kin members, etc., etc. Okay. Then we have Sigmund Freud's theory of socialization where id, ego, and superego. Id actually is part of personality consisting drives. What are the drives? The needs of the self. It is a part of the self which is always possessed with the drives. What are the drives here? The drives are unconscious. It is not conscious. The drives which the id possess. The id part itself is unconscious, instinctual, unsocialized, aggressive, and antisocial. It is also in our self. It is our part of the self. Okay. It is also part of self. Which is unconscious, which is unsocialized, which is aggressive, antisocial. So what happens if I just now said, according to me and I part is something where you are relating to id part. Okay, id part of Freud, Sigmund Freud. So here, id is such an antisocial, aggressive that it is very hard to control this. But what happens through the process of socialization? In the process of socialization, there is again, there arises the other part of the self called ego. Ego. Okay, so ego is arrived in the part of the self. It is in your own self where it is experienced with the social aspect. So the ego has experience of the societal system. That means it is focusing, it is observing all the social elements in the society, all the rules, regulations, expectations. It is going to understand. It is understood, and it has an understanding of all these things in the society. So it has a social experience and most useful and sensible part of the self. Okay, ego is very sensible part of the self. So what happens when there is ego which has arisen in our own self? It says that it is within the personality and self-concept and may be very severely impaired. Here we have next, after the ego has arisen, we come across the third part of the self is superego. Superego is something which is very much socially learned behavior, which is socialized process and approach. It is socialized. It very well knows what are the shoots and the odds or the do's and the don'ts, everything. So which is very careful, conscious part of our self. So it is not socialized, unconscious, which is unsocialized, which is unconscious, aggressive, antisocial. Ego has just arrived. Okay, it just takes birth in our self. It arrives in our self, but which has the knowledge of the societal system. Okay, which has this experience and knowledge of the societal system. Then we have the third part called superego. Superego ekkadundi? Manalone untundi. Mana self lone oka bhagam annamata. What is this superego? Superego is socialized, very much conscious, very much social. That is, it has the internalization. It is very much conscious. It has the eye on the societal expectations. Which has observed the behavior patterns, which has very conscious about the rules, regulations, everything. So there will be interaction between the id, ego, and the superego. So in between we have id one part, one side, the other side we have the superego. In between, in middle we have the ego. So ego em chestundante intermediary level anamata. So it tries to subordinate the id, and it tries to give importance to the superego. So there will be interaction between these three parts of the self. So in this process, usually the id will be suppressed. The id will be suppressed, and superego goes according to whereby a man behaves according to the societal expectations. Okay. I'm going very briefly here. Okay. Then again, we try to talk about, we have what is called the social institutions. The next topic, unit 8, we have social institutions. What are the institutions we have? The basic level institution, the fundamental institutions, the prime institutions we have is marriage and family. Okay. So we have marriage, family, and kinship, which are very, 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 each institution presupposes the other. Say, for example, if there should be a marriage, we presuppose the precondition for the marriage is the family, and family presupposes marriage. And likewise, we have these three institutions, kinship, marriage, and family, one supposing the other's existence. Okay. What is marriage? Yes, we have, it is very much universal. You find everywhere throughout the universe, you have the, what is called the institution, the presence of the institution called marriage here. What is marriage? It is universal, as I said, universal social institution, and it is very much existence in almost all the countries, all the world communities here. And when we take up the definition of the marriage, it says that it is something where it is defined as a socially sanctioned union of one or more men with one or more women. Okay, with the expectation that they will play the role of husband and wife. And marriage is a special type of personal relationship involving mutual rights and obligations. So I just give the definition meaning here. The definition says that it is a socially recognized union of male and female, maybe one person and two or one or more men with one or more women also. Okay, so we have different variations according to societal system, societal culture. Okay. Then again, it talks about marriage definition, also talks about it is something where in the status of husband and status of wife, we have certain mutual rights and obligation towards each. Okay, so it is something where the institution talks about the status and the role performances, status and the rights and the obligations towards rights, obligations, and the duties, responsibilities towards each person, that is husband and wife. Mutually, it is understandable by both of the partners that yes, there are certain rights towards the wife and certain obligations towards the wife. There are certain rights and obligations towards the husband. Okay, so these two concepts usually we try to take it as the status formation. Husband is a status, wife is a status, and obligations, rights always exist in the institution. Okay, so this is a definition of the marriage. What are the characteristics of the marriage here? It is universal. Do you find only in the India? Is it only the Indian institution? No. You find this institution everywhere throughout the universe. Okay, it is something where it defines and it prescribes the rules, regulations, and the relationship between the man and the woman here. Okay, it is based on some rules. Yes, of course, marriage has certain rules here. So we try to go to the rules later on in this next page here. Okay, we have endogamy, exogamy as rules of the marriage institution. So marriage is based on some rules, and at the same time, it is a bond which is enduring, long lasting. Okay, so it is a bond. You enter into a bond with a person which is very much enduring, long lasting. Usually we say it is everlasting, right? Then it requires social approval. So how do you enter into this bond? This bond is acceptable. This bond you enter only when there is the social approval. That is, society has to approve the relationship. Society has to give the sanction by saying that yes, from today onwards, these two persons have entered into this marital bond. Okay. So that's the reason why usually all our members, all our relatives, and all other friends and all, where they are going to give the sanction that yes, from today onwards, these two partners, these two members have entered into the marital bond. This sanction is very important for the legality of the institution. Then, what are the types of marriage we have? Monogamy, which is there in Indian society. Yes, monogamy is a single marriage for a man and a woman. Then we have polygamy. Polygamy, we have two different types here, polyandry and the polygyny. Okay, so polyandry, yes, the polyandry where we women actually polyandry where women, it is a group marriage. Polygamy is a group marriage. Polygamy, we have two different forms, polygyny and polyandry. Polyandry is where a woman takes up more than one marriage. So women have more than one husband. Okay, Draupadi is the best example for the polyandry, where she maintains she has 5 husbands, right? Then again we have on the other side, opposite to the polyandry is polygyny, where a man has the right to go for more than one marriage. Okay, that is, man can go for more than one marriage. Say, for example, in Islam, we have polygyny as a rule of marriage. Okay, as sanctioned by the Quran itself. Okay, so like depending on the culture, depending on the religion or the community, they can go for the group marriage, or it can be a single marriage like monogamy. Okay, so we have certain rules and functions of marriage. Yes, why there should be this institution of marriage? Fine, what are the functions performed by this institution? So what are the rules? Do we really have any rules? Yes, of course, we do have certain rules. Like, for example, we have exogamy, endogamy. Exogamy law, it says the endogamy law, it says that a man or a person belonging to one particular group is needed to, the person has to select the partner from the same group. So the group doesn't permit the person to go out of the group for the selection of the mate here. Okay, I repeat once again, endogamy is like a group or a man belonging to a particular group. Say, for example, in India, we have the caste communities. Fine. A person belonging to a Brahmin is required to marry only a Brahmin woman. Okay, a Brahmin girl. So that means you are selecting the partner only from that particular group itself. So this doesn't allow, the endogamy rule never allows outside selection of the partner. Okay, so you cannot go out of the group to select the mating partner. Right? Then again, we have endogamy. Endogamy is exogamy is where you can go out of the group. For example, a class we can take as the exogamy example, where a poor person, a poor woman is married into a upper class, or a upper woman marries a lower class community, income base. Okay, fine. Then again, we have what is called cross-cousin marriage. India, we have cross-cousin marriage among the Hindu family system. Okay, and the parallel cousin marriage among the Islam community. Fine. Levirate and sororate. Levirate is there in the North Indian society, sororate in the South Indian society. Okay.
Dr. Malti, I have one question.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
In exogamy is also considered, is it also considered intercaste marriages?
Exogamy, yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. But actually, exogamy is out of one's own community or one's own group.
Yeah. So you mentioned class and status. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
class. That's what I have given the example of a class, right? So a very high income person or a very rich man marrying a very poor woman. So that can be an exogamy. Sometimes village exogamy is also there, where in most of the communities, the village people never marries their own village community members. So they go out of the village. Or sometimes it is vice versa. It is also opposite. Sometimes they don't allow the outside community members to enter into their own village. So this can be either endogamy, but usually endogamy you experience only in the caste communities, where a Brahmin or any caste community have to select, because we are talking about caste in India itself. In India, are very strict, isn't it? So we go with only selecting the partner from their own caste community, and we have again the subjati, so the subcaste. So the person have to select again internally from their own subcaste. Even other subcaste is also not acceptable. Okay. So fine, now modern days we have that what is called we are going out of all these things, right? So now we have inter-religious, inter-community, or international marriages are also occurring. The India boy marrying a Russian woman, or India boy marrying an American woman. All this is now acceptable. Now we are not going into with the rigid rules and all. Okay. Now,
Thank you.
Yeah. Then we have family. Yes, family is very, very important. We all know, we all are from families here. Fine. What is exactly a family? Family is something where you try to talk about, according to Murdoch, it says that it is a social group characterized by common residence, economic cooperation, reproduction. So family law, what we see, it is something where you are with the people, you are with your own members, and it is something where your character with common where you live with your parents, with your siblings in a common residence. At the same time, there is economic cooperation. So among the family members, you earn, you also share. At the same time, you protect economically all your family members. Fine. Then again, it is that you find also the reproduction activity taking place in the family. I just now said that marriage, family, kinship presupposes every other institution's presence here. Fine. If there is marriage, if we want to bring marriage, then there should be a family. If we want to have a family, then we require the marriage. So the reproduction through a legal way, entering into the marital bond, you find the reproduction activity taking place in the family institution. Sorry. Now, what are the characteristics of the family? Again, it is universal. Do we find only family in India or some other place? No. You find family everywhere, even in the smaller communities, primitive communities, everywhere you find literate, illiterate community, everywhere you find the family. Then it has a fixed place of habitation. Yes, we have a fixed place of habitation. So all the members of the family live and they continue their life in that particular fixed place of habitation. At the same time, you come across financial provision. Who is providing you the financial security for all your needs and the desires? It is your family members. So financial provision is provided to the members of the family by the family itself. Okay. Then we cannot go and demand with the other person that I want this and that. No, you can demand this only with your parents or your other members in the family, right? Then again, we have family varies from society to society. That is, you find in India earlier till yesterday, that is till 30 or 20 years back, we had only the joint family structures in the Indian society. But otherwise, if you just go back to when you just refer to the European communities, so the highly developed communities, there you find the structure something different. Okay. Now here we are, because we are in a transition period, now we are modifying ourselves. Now we find that there is no external or the joint families, but we are into the nuclear families. So Mali inka Ranu Ranu, as we move towards more development and more referring towards the higher communities here, we may not experience even the nuclear families. You find only the single parent or some live-in relationship or some other. Now the trend has already started in the Indian society. So likewise, the structure varies from society to society. The function, not function, but the structure varies from society to society. Okay. Then the types of families. So we have the nuclear, we have the what is called the extended and the joint family structures. Okay. So families are based on authority. We have a patriarchal system where India is a patriarchal family type, where man is dominating the family and the man takes up the family's responsibility. And at the same time, it is the economic protection is given by the man, that is the father. The father is head of the family. The lineage continues by the father itself, patrilineal. Okay. And the children, after getting married, they join the parents' family itself, that is the father's family. So all this goes from the father's side, the patriarchal, descent, patrilineage, and patrilocal. Okay. And if you find anywhere in the whole universe, when you find a mother taking up the responsibility, mother's domination, mother lineage, then we call it as a matriarchal system. Okay, matriarchal family and Kerala manki matriarchal family, and few of the tribal communities also take up only a matriarchal system where women dominates the family, women leads the family, women gives the lineage to the children. Okay, women have the protection, the tracing goes from the women, not from the man. Okay, so this is usually matriarchal family system. What are the functions of the family? It is affectional, economic, recreational, protective, and religious and educational. All this affection, who gives you the affection, love and affection? The most love and affection you get only from the parents and your siblings, right? So you don't get this affection outside or elsewhere in the family, more about the family. Okay, then again, we find economic protection. Just now I said the financial matters, the economic aspect, everything you get it, the protection you get from only in the family itself. Then otherwise you have the protective function also. Anytime, any tension time or any kind of some disruptive time of a person, it is your family who comes immediately into for the protecting yourself. Right? Recreation. What is this recreation actually? When you talk about recreation, it is a kind of act where the family enters into by giving a recreation to the child here. Usually you find recreation function provided by the joint family members. But now you don't have this recreation, but in some form other way, where the mother and the parents carry the children to some tours and all for the recreation function, or to attending the cinema or going to the club. Everything, all this is some kind of recreation, but which is very, very important. But this was not done, this was not there in the joint family, in the traditional system, but recreation was something else in the traditional family. So it was among the family members by the elderly persons, giving the folklores or the storytelling by the grandparents, everything, or the every celebration of every occasion was a recreation for the family members in the traditional period, that is on the joint family members. Okay. Now we have the religious and the education. So what is your religion? What is the worshipping mode? How you are going to perform your rituals? Everything you are learning from your parents itself. Fine. So yesterday we have seen it is something where from generation to generation you are passing down all your belief system, sentiments, your mode of worshipping, everything from the family to the next family to the new generation. Okay. Yes, of course, there is the changing trends of the family. Now we are not experiencing the same traditional joint family structure. Not only the structure, even the functional aspect has changed a lot, because now we are moved to the modern communities. So in the modern society, you find that it is only the single families and the single parent families, or sometimes it is a small family. You find the small norm of the family we are taking now presently, and the functions have also changed a lot today. So sometimes you find the recreation, as just now said, the child gets it's only the outside family, out of the family. Fine. So such changing trends also we are experiencing in the present Indian family structure also. Then what is the kinship here? Meaning of the kinship. Kinship is your blood relationship with your persons. Fine. How many types of kinship we have? Blood relations. We call them as a kinship. Okay. We have types of kinship in two different forms. Consanguineal kins and the affinal kins. Who are the consanguineal members? Consanguineal members are the consanguineal kin group is where the group members share the blood. Okay, I repeat once again. Consanguineal kins are the people who share the blood. Okay, all your blood related members form as a consanguineal kin group. Then the affinal kin group are the marital members. The husband-wife relationship is not blood, but it is only the marital bond. So these partners are called as the affinal or the conjugal members. Okay, conjugal kin members. Right. Now, according to the degrees of kin, how many types of kinship are there? There are 3 types. One is the primary kins, secondary kins, and the tertiary kins. Then again, we have degrees. First degree, second degree, third degree, tertiary, third degree. Okay. What is religion? Next topic. Let us talk about the new topic, meaning and definition of religion here. Yes, every one of have the faith or the belief in religion. Okay. That is believing that there is existence of the supreme power above to the human, right? What exactly the religion talks about and why there should be the religious institution in the society, let us go through. Okay, according to Durkheim, the definition goes in such a way: religion is a unified system, beliefs or practices which unite into a single moral community called a church, or serving the needs of all those who adhere to them. Fraser defines religion as a belief in powers superior to man, which are believed to direct and control the course of nature and of human life. Yes, if you find that there is something which is the power which is controlling yourself, which is controlling the nature, then you give that name of religion or the supreme power to that power. Fine. So which is above the human, you have the belief that yes, there is existence of some supreme power in the universe. This supreme power we are terming it as religion or gods or the gods or the supreme power. Okay. So what happens when there is supreme power? Okay. It is only the belief statement. Okay. It is only with the existence of religion is only with the belief system. Okay. Now, it says that according to Durkheim, he says it is only a unified system. It is unifying all the members together. It is molding all the members together. It is bonding all the members together because of the performance of certain ritual practices, worshipping system. All this makes you come together. So this is where you find religion. Okay. What are the characteristics of the religion? Exactly. Religion is a group phenomena. Is it a single phenomena? No. It is going with a group. You find religious institution in the society. You share all the belief systems. You share all the ritual practices, not individually or not individually in isolation, not doing all these things. In group, you are performing all this. So religion is a group phenomena. Then it is concerned with the sacred and the supernatural. What is the sacred? Sacred is something pious. Very pavitramainatuvantidi, chala pavitramainatuvantidi. Sacred is pious. So you are attaching this significance to the religion. Religion is something sacred, very pious, very supernatural, which is not natural, but supernatural, above the natural also, nature. It is controlling the nature, kabatti, which is supernatural. Okay. Then a religion involves a body of beliefs. What do you do with the religion and in the religious institution? You are going to perform certain ritual practices. There are some kind of performances in the religion, either worshipping the god or breaking the coconut or adoring the god and what is called lighting the candles, maybe lighting the agarbatti, maybe all this is something where you try to take it as the body of belief systems. Okay. Then a set of practices and the rituals, right? As I said, there are practices, ritual, yagnam cheyatamu, homam kalchadamu, ivanni kuda set of practices and the ritual performances in the religion itself. Elsewhere, you're not performing all this, but you are attaching this to the religion. Okay. Then religion is matter of emotions. Religion have some moral implications. Yes, it is a matter of emotion. Yes. If I believe that yes, there exists a God, I try to communicate all my sorrow, all my everything, my bad things with God itself. So I feel that yes, God is going to bless me with a good deed. So this actually I'm relating to religion through emotions. So it is a body of emotions also, right? There are some forms of religion. How many forms you find? We usually find that yes, there is Catholicism or the Christianity, Islam, and the Hinduism. But before that, there were some other forms of religion. According to Taylor, we try to talk about superstition. Adi Manavlo, primitive man, they had no religion. What was the religion among very rudimentary form of religion? మొరటుగా ఉన్నటువంటి మతం ఏంటిది అంటే వాళ్ళలో usually it is superstition. మూఢనమ్మకాలు. Even మూఢనమ్మకాలు, superstition is also taken in the form of a religion. Because we start tracing religion from the superstition, magic, and then the moderated form of the religion. Okay. So the first stage of religion you are tracing is superstition, right? Then animism. Animism is again, it is something where you are going with, it says that a belief that there is some personal force existing in animate and inanimate thing. A personal force exists in the animate and inanimate, living and the non-living things. So there is some force, there is some power, right? Even I feel that if I believe in animism, I feel that even the table has some power. Okay, so even the book has the power. So which is an inanimate, which is not a living thing, which is a non-living thing. Even the trees have the powers. Okay, all this is animate and inanimate, where you find that there exists some personal powers. This is animism. Then we have animatism. According to R. Marriott, there is animatism. Animatism is the belief that there is the impersonal forces which exist in animate and inanimate. Here, animism law, it is personal force. Here in the animatism law, it is impersonal forces. Impersonal, you cannot control that. Fine. There is no control on the impersonal forces. Fine. So where it is just wandering around, but it is occupying a space in the animate and the inanimate. Okay. So it is entering into the body of the animate things and the inanimate things. So this is where you try to, it is a modified form of animism. Animatism is a modified form of animism. Okay, then we have magic. Yes, we do believe in magic. Even today, modern people also believe in magic. Maniki white magic. It is something where you believe in the some soul, existence of spirit, existence of the soul and all. Okay, so where you cannot control them, but you have some body of performance where you can control the magic of the forces also. Some forces, negative force and positive force and some form of magic. Okay, so you have white magic, black magic. White is for a good, black is for the bad performances. Okay, bad deeds. Fine. We have productive magic, destructive magic, protective magic. To protect yourself from all the bad things, you try to do some magic on yourself. Okay, you కొన్ని ఉంటాయి కదా కొన్ని పద్ధతులు ఉంటాయి. So that is like you protect yourself. Fine. And productive magic, to bring a good crop, you try to go for the magic. So all these are the parts of magic. Where this is the practices we have since ages. Okay. Then we are trying to talk about totemism. Totemism is religion among the tribal communities. Okay. Totemism is where you find that all the living things or the non-living also, say among the tribal community, they feel that there exists a god or their own ancestors in the snake. So they never harm the snake. So they feel it is the snake is the god for their own family. So కుల దేవుళ్ళు ఇంటి దేవుళ్ళు ఉంటారు కదా అట్లా టోటమిజం అన్నమాట. Among the tribals you find the totemist. So what are the functions of the religion? Why should there be a religion in the society? Yes, if you go with Karl Marx, then Karl Marx never accepted existence in the society. Okay, he doesn't want any religion at all, because religion becomes an opium in the society for the people. But actually it has also certain positive functions. What are the functions actually performed by the religion? It says that religion explains the natural and the social world. So what is that explanation you are getting? You get an understanding of the societal system, your survival, your birth, right? Your sorrows, your good deeds, or all things, the happiness, all things you get from the understanding only because of the religion. Then we try to say that we relate all our deeds or the behaviors to the God itself. Right? So I'm sorry, I'm suffering a lot because maybe I might have done some wrong deeds in my early birth. These all explanations you get because of the religion itself. Okay, then religion set forth certain rules, regulations. Yes, we do have certain rules, regulations. When we go for doing harming a person, we immediately set ourselves back. Fine. So we feel that is somebody is observing us, the power is observing us. So we should not go for doing all these bad things. That's it. We are stopping ourselves. So there are certain rules, regulations even provided by the religious institution. Then again, we have it is something as security and the control. We do control ourselves. We control our emotions. We control our behaviors, because that we feel that is God is observing us. Ankunappudu we never go for doing all the bad things and all. Fine. Then like religion also has good things to perform in the society, and it definitely has a what is called a positive way controlling the whole societal system. That's the reason why we are experiencing the peaceful functioning of the society. Okay. So likewise, we have the political system. Okay. Then we also try to talk about the polity. We know, like, fine. Then we have social control. Let me just talk about social control. I think, do you all have the other lesson, other class? So let me just talk about social control. Social control is where the society's control over the individual's behaviors. Okay, societal control over the individual behavior, we call it as social control. So why should there be any social control? The social control is very, very important. Why? Because through institutions, maybe through groups, maybe through mass media, maybe, or through the court and the police, maybe the society tries to put control on the behaviors of the individual. If you are not controlling, that means, as I said, if you allow the I part of the self, okay, socialization process, if you allow the it part of the self, it part of the self. So this if you allow, give freedom to all those part of the self, it is going to bring disaster to the society. That is, your self, uncontrolled self definitely leads to destruction. Okay, so that what actually, if there is no control, definitely a person or individual group members may not go according to the expectations of the society. So in order to bring order of the society, we require social control. Okay. So definitely, I think this is just a very brief explanation, ABCD of the subject here. Okay. Hope you all can study. So we have social stratification, mobility and social change. Stratification is something where forming the layers in the society, bringing the stratums, making the stratums in the society. That is, society have everywhere you find some or the other forms of the stratum, stratification system. Stratums are the layers in the society. So always you find some hierarchical stratums laid in the society in order to make division of work very, very easy, very effective and very easy. Fine. So the forms of stratification we have, we may take the condition of the caste or the condition of the class, or maybe the estate. So if you're going with the caste, you have 4 layers in the society for the caste. And if you're going with the class, we have 3 layers in the society. Fine, upper class, middle class, and the lower class. And if it is the caste, we have the Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and the Sudras. Okay, so likewise, stratification is based, it is universal. Even everywhere you find the stratification system, illiterate, literate, or the small communities or the bigger community, wherever you go, you find some or the other form of the stratification. So you find some layers and hierarchical positions placed by the individuals in the society, placed among the individuals in the society. Okay. So I hope you followed what I said. I was just going very speedily, very briefly. Hope you followed everything. So you can just read out all the topics, the remaining left topics here. So thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Malati.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you.